speaking of video, we have one more video to talk about, or that I can talk about.
Yeah.
Um, this one has Vic Rattlehead,
Oh yeah.
along with a lot of world leaders. Uh,
Yeah.
Modeled after Gorbachev, modeled after the first Bush, and some other characters from overseas as well. And it is that element of world control and what's happening here. We hit that a lot in the final track, but in Hangar 18, we're getting a little bit of Roswell. We're getting a little bit of Area 51 coming at us.
A
But I
lot of
guess
that.
as this was written, it was more about a mythical building at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base near Dayton, Ohio. So I'm learning through that as well.
Yeah, which I think they thought that or allegedly some aliens were brought to that area. So they're, so they might be stored there or something like that. And then the video you can see is just basically about that. It's just like there's so much like prosthetics going on and like all these hilarious. It's like it's funny too because you watch it now and you're like, well, Megadeth had like a middle ground budget for this, right? Like there's money there that like, I've never had to make a video, but then it's also kind of hilarious looking because you know what I mean? It's got these weird but you can tell it's also like 90s because there's no like CG horse shit,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And so
But
it's all
it's
just
all
like,
those practical effects, and
yeah,
some of them look great, even
right,
for
right,
now.
right. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know, but they also still kind of look hilarious. Like
Yeah.
this one, I don't find as tough. Like when you watch the Holy Wars video, like, or at least when I watched it, I'm like, these dudes are tough as nails, and like nobody can fuck with these people. They
Yeah.
know
It's
exactly
all
what they're doing.
business.
Yeah, and like like if they told me anything, I'd believe it. I like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Hangar 18, the video is a little like it's kind of goofball just because yeah, I don't know, aliens, and they're kind of, they don't like the aliens in the video don't look that gnarly, you know what I mean? They don't look
No, some of them are like
uh
cute.
like Geiger aliens or whatever, you know what I mean? They kind of, yeah, there's like a cute one in there, isn't there? There's like a Mac and Me type of thing going on in there. Which that might be a hilarious reference that no one's gonna know either, uh but that being said, the song is so incredible.
Yeah.
And it might be like a little bit more easy. This one's written, at least the first half of it is written, like the chords, uh, in the beginning aren't changing necessarily that much. And it might be a little bit more relatable or something like a little bit easier to grasp onto for like a bigger audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, More so than Holy Wars, maybe, because Holy Wars is just like a complicated, you know, the riffs are insane, right?
No, it really
Just
is.
notes everywhere. But this one's might maybe a little bit easier to maybe like sink your teeth into, at least in the beginning. And then the end, it just goes buck wild with
Yeah.
solos.
I have it as having a guitar riff solo kind of change up at 250 that
Yeah,
goes to 307 of the 5 minute track.
and it's so amazing. I think about it all the time. Right,
Yeah.
I think about the end of Hangar 18 constantly because like the way the riffs play off of each other and the way the solos come in and out in this kind of like roller coaster sort of way, you know what I mean? Like you've got this incredible riff, and then you've got this and then you've got a solo that goes back into this incredible heavy riff, and then it solos again, you know what I mean? It's just back and forth and back and forth, and it all fucking makes sense somehow.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean? Like it all feels like that's what it's supposed to do.
no, I
And
think the roller coaster is perfect because
it's
you get that anticipation, but it's building that tension as it goes. And it's just, you're going from a corkscrew into a quick turn, and they're two completely different feelings for you,
yeah.
but it's speed and adrenaline all at once. So I think that roller coaster analogy you made is perfect.
Yeah, and like who's good enough, who's talented enough and brave enough to write a part like that? When was the last time? I mean, I'm listening to metal all the time, right? Constantly, and it's like no one writes a part like the end of Hangar 18. You just don't do it. It's like it's like giving yourself more work than you need to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sort of. I don't know if that's the way I'd necessarily, if I had a lot of time to think about it, if I would actually put it that way. But like,
But
yeah,
it
you know
makes
what I mean?
sense. I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's just like you don't have to like, I don't know. It just seems like I keep saying this over and over again, but like just the song structures are like they're just so unique, and they all make sense. And like, and I every time I listen to this album, I'm always amazed at how much sense it makes and how much I feel like it shouldn't make that much sense.
And I think the approach that Dave and the entire band take is summed up with the title of track 3, Take No Prisoners.